welcome to today's video. We are in the late pages 68 and 69 of the Alfred's book for the late beginner. And the name of our piece here is Sonatina. So this is an actual classical piece that we are being introduced to today. So it's really nice that you have advanced this far in your musical journey. This piece begins in the key of C major, and we also have the key of G major. So we're going to be both in C position and G position. So let's go ahead and prepare for that. The first step for this piece here is to review the rhythm and the note names. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first page. In the right hand, we see that our rhythms are mostly dotted half notes. 1, 2, 3. So every single one of those will be dotted half notes. In the second system, the last two measures, we have tied E dotted half notes for two measures. Let's keep that in mind. So from here on, what we're going to do for all these dotted half notes, we're going to go ahead and play and say the note name. Here we go. Starting on G. 1, 2, 3. G, 2, 3. E, 2, 3. C, 2, 3. E, 2, 3. F, 2, 3. D, 2, 3. E, 2, 3. Tied, 2, 3. Very good. Now, usually we will be working just the right hand by itself, but we're actually going to work by page. So that's the first page for the right hand. If you need to review that again, make sure that you do so. Now we're going to play this one more time, but I want us to keep in mind that we have here a crescendo from piano to the end of this system for 4 measures, and then we have a decrescendo on the second system. So we want to get louder and louder, all while maintaining a nice legato from the beginning of measure 1 to the end of measure 8. So we have a very, very long slur. Okay, let's try this again, saying the note names, but getting louder and then getting softer. I will remind you when. 1, 2, 3. G, 2, 3. E, getting a little bit louder. 3. C, 2, 3. E, 2, 3. F, getting softer. 3. D, 2, 3. E, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All played slur and legato. Very good. Please remember to review that step multiple times. Let's go on now to the left hand. Take a look at the left hand. It is to be played legato. See the word legato above the eighth notes? Sometimes when you have notes that do not have a slur, you may still be able to play it legato, whether by the instruction of the composer or your own choice. It does not always have to be under a slur. Okay, so each of these notes is an eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That rhythm will continue from beginning to the end of about halfway in the next page. So let's go ahead and review our notes very quickly. The notes seem to play throughout here and there. Let's place our left hand in C position and review the notes with that rhythm. C, G, E, G, E, G, and then it repeats again. C, E, G, E, G, E, G. So it seems like we're playing, spelling out the C major chord. C, E, C, G, E, G, E, G, etc. Okay? So that's to be repeated from the beginning of measure 1 to 4. Let's go ahead and just review that. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, E, G, E, G, C, G, E, G, E, G. Continuing on. the next system, we have notes that are a little bit different. The first note is D, with played finger number 4. D, G, F, with finger number 2. G, F, G, repeat it again. D, G, F, G, F, G, and then we go back to C, G, E, G, E, G, C, E, E, G, E, G, etc. Alright, let's go ahead and repeat that once again from the beginning to the end of measure number 8. Keep in mind, now you may need to take a pencil or a colored pencil and circle around the notes that change from C, G to D, G, to notice that there's a difference in harmony here. Okay, once again from the beginning. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Oh, sorry, 1, and 2, and 3, and C, G, E, G, E, G, C, G, E, G, E, G. Continuing on. 3, 1, and 2, and 3. Continue, change. D, G, F, G, F, G. Play it again. Now back to C. G, E, G, E, G, C, G, E, G, E, G. Release. Now let's put them both together. Playing this note, remember we want to play one measure at a time. It may help to apply the freezing technique to get your hands ready to know which ones you're going to play. Maybe we're reviewing each hand individually again, just for each individual measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. C. Stop, go to the next one. Then C. Then E. Now we have the change in harmony. Now 4 with D. And then D. Back to C. Very good. A sonatina, which is what this is a short instrumental selection. It may have 1, 2, or 3 movements. If the first or only movement begins in the key of C major, the second part of the movement usually goes to its dominant, which is G major. But then at the end, it's going to return back to C major. And that's usually the structure of a sonatina. Also, maybe even a sonata. So let's go ahead and now put both hands together. It says to play this with pedal. We will hold down the pedal for the first 4 measures, release it, not use pedal for measures 5 and 6, and then bring it back down for 7 and 8. Okay, let's bring it all together. Remember, we want a crescendo into measure 4, and then decrescendo until measure 8. 1, 2, 3. Very good. So that's for the first page. Let's now take a look at the next page. And it appears that the music is practically the same, except for the second system, where it began on F. It does begin on F again, D, but then instead of going to E, it's going to go to C. Okay, so let's go ahead and review just the top system of page 69. It's practically the same as the very beginning. Let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3 with pedal. Change to D and F. And here's the ending that's different. Go down to C instead of to E. And then end on C to rest on 3. Now, after this measure, we're going to go to the bottom systems, and it says the key is now G major with 1 sharp, which is F sharp. Let's go ahead and review the steps for this page here, the bottom two measures. We're going to go ahead and clap the rhythm for the right hand. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. Next system. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, rest. Let's go ahead and review the finger numbers for that. We have finger number 1 on G and finger number 2 on A, which happens to be our very first note. Let's go ahead now and say the note names as we play. We have eighth notes and quarter notes, dotted half notes. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, A, B, D, B, lift. A, B, C, A, D, 2, 3, lift. A, B, C, A, B, D, B, lift. A, D, C, B, A, G, 2, rest. Okay? Now that's all to be maintained as one dynamic mezzo forte. Let's now go over the left hand. 1, 2, 3. Third, 2, 3. G, 2, 3. Third, 2, 3. G, F sharp, E. Third, 2, 3. G, 2, 3. Third, 2, 3. Now watch this. There is an accidental, a natural sign which cancels out the sharp of F, which now becomes an F natural or F white key. G, G, F, E, D. Now remember, when you say just F by alone, it's going to mean the white key. If you say F sharp or F flat, it's always going to be either that flat or sharp. So notice that one is what we do when we play the da capo al fine, going back to the beginning and going back to C major. Let's now go ahead and play this G major section. Both hands together. Please be mindful of your fingering. You do have the right hand, or excuse me, the left hand still in C position. That accommodates for these notes here. Okay, but the right hand is in G position. So we have two different positions going on here. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, A, B, D, B, A, B, C, A. So remember, when you're going over these measures here, go one measure at a time. Stop after reviewing each hand, and then put them together. Play that legato, while the left hand plays non-legato. Notice you lift, you're still holding out here, but then you lift again. Da capo al fine, which means you're going back to the beginning. Let's review the beginning again until the fine. With pedal. And louder. Next one, without pedal. And with pedal again. Next page, same as the beginning, with pedal. Keep the pedal down, getting louder. Next, without pedal. And then retardando. To rest. And there you have it. That's how we will be learning this piece. Remember to review each step several times until you have it ready for performance. And we'll see you next time.